Hey, what's up, you guys? Bringing another action figure review to you, and this is a figure that I was not initially going to get. I was not going to get this figure, but then I changed up my mind, and I said, you know what? I watched a couple of reviews on YouTube, and I saw how, the YouTubers were gushing on this figure, and they brought up a lot of good points, and it made me change my mind. It made me change my mind, and I said, you know what? I said I want this figure too. So I'm glad I got him. And it's actually me adding another rogue to the Green Arrow, um, because he was originally a Green Arrow villain, and I didn't know that. Before he became a Batman villain, he was a Green Arrow villain. I think more people are more familiar with Clock King being the Batman villain. Tempered Fugan, what was his name? I know his last name is Fugan, but I don't remember if it's tempered or temp. It's something Fugan. But anyway, this is not him. This is a different guy. That's Clock King. So I would like to see a T. I'm gonna just call him T. I would like to see a T Fugard for Batman in the future. I would like to see that. So hopefully we'll get that. All right, so we'll get a better look at the Clock King. We will get a better look at him and see what's popping. So you see Clock King in the packaging, nothing up top but clear plastic. McFarlane Toys. 22 moving parts. See Clock King in the packaging. See his accessories. DC Multiverse at the bottom, Clock King at the bottom. And on the side, we have McFarlane Collector's Edition. The Clock King. Got DC Multiverse on the left side. Figure number 18. All the legalities at the bottom, as you can see, along with the UPC code. And this has some fantastic art on the back. I love that. So you got Clock King back there. You got McFarlane Toys on the top right corner. So this art of Clock King is awesome. I love it. You see all the different clocks. You see an hourglass. You got different versions of clocks in there. That is awesome. And you can see Green Arrow. Oh crap. You see Green Arrow fighting Clock King. So they just letting you know that this is a Green Arrow villain. That is so sick. I love that. You got another hourglass right there. You got the grandfather clock. You got Clock King himself. He looks awesome. Awesome art. Awesome art. I love when they base it off of the comic books. I love when they do that. So we're going to crack Clock King out of the packaging. We're going to do that right now. So stay tuned. All right. So let's get into this review. I didn't realize I would be this excited for this figure, but oh my gosh. Like, I was looking him up and down off camera, and I can't find a thing that I don't dislike. I mean, maybe I could nitpick it if I wanted to, but first of all, this is reused parts from another figure, but it's reused parts from another figure that I don't have. And let's face it, all figures are reused. You know what I mean? Like, whenever action figure companies make a new toy for, a new line or whatever, they're always going to reuse. There's always going to be reuse. So to use reuse as an excuse to give it a lower score, I try not to do that too often. Sometimes I'll do that, but I'm trying to stop doing that, because you have to judge a figure on its own. You have to judge it for the quality, for the paint, for the sculpting. That's what you have to judge a figure for, whether it has reused parts or not. But like I said, all action figures do. That's just the way how toy companies work. So the accessories he come with is this clock, sharp edge shaped sword. It's not a sword, you know. It's a clock. It's a. It's how you tell time. It's the arrows of the clock. So that's the short one, and like I just showed, this is the long one. So that's really cool. Like if you want to, you know, like if you wanted to, you could do something like this, you know, like it's almost 11 o'clock, or it's 12:45, something like that. That's genius. I love that. And his other accessory he comes with, which McFarlane is going to stop doing this. It kind of makes me sad because I actually do like these display stands. I like it. I know a lot of people don't, but I guess I'm in the minority. So that's a display stand with his trading card, which I always read. Sometimes I forget though, but you have here Clock King. You got him with all the art with his clocks, and you got him fighting Green Arrow. Awesome. So McFarlane Collector's Edition says on the card, Clock King, and on the back, real name. Like I said, this isn't a Fugit from the Batman animated series. Real name William Tachman. The Clock King was considered to be a third-tier villain by the authorities, thanks to his lack of superpowers and his weird fixation with clocks. Born the aptly named William Tachman, the Clock King commenced his criminal career after doctors incorrectly diagnosed that he had been struck down by a fatal disease and had only a short time to live. Determined to make every second of the rest of his life count, he executed a string of clock-themed robberies. As the Clock King, Tachman's overall goal was to steal enough money so that his disabled sister would be well cared for after his death. Wow. Very deep right there. Very deep origin for the Clock King, for Mr. William Tachman. Very interesting. So I'm going to gush about this figure because I love this figure. Let's just get it right off the bat. The thing I love most about this figure is that it is a wire cape. And I'm starting to see McFarlane leaning, giving, you know, heroes and villains. I'm seeing him leaning more into giving them wire capes instead of plastic. And I have to say, I'm on board with that. I'm fully on board with that because there's so much you can do with the wired cape. Like, for example, you can do this. You can do this. Lay it down. You could lay it down flat. Whatever you choose to do, you could spread it out. He could be fully spread it out. Full cape, full mass, spread it out. You can do whatever you want to it. You can curl it. You can curl it. Like I said, wire cape. I am on board 100%. If we have to pay a little extra just to get these capes, I'm down. I will admit it. I am down. I love these wire capes. So much you can do with it. And I love it. And you get serious brownie points for that. So I absolutely love the cape. And I love this head sculpt. The fact that he has a face like a clock, that is just awesome. And it's a face, you know? The clock arrows are shaped like eyes, and this little line here is shaped like his mouth, and the little, you know, the time numbers, the little triangles, it just works. This is so refreshing. This is something new, different. This is so refreshing. I love this figure. It is so darn refreshing, and I love it. I adore this figure. Yeah, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. You got sculpting right here. So this is sculpted. It's sculpted and it's painted, but it is beautiful. I love it. I love it. He has clocks all around his outfit, and I absolutely something that should be ridiculous and silly. And I'll admit it, when I first saw this figure, I thought to myself, I said, this figure looks ridiculous. I said, this figure looks ridiculous. That's the first thing I said. And I said, I'm not going to get it. But then I saw some reviews on YouTube. I saw people were gushing about it. And I saw how they brought up so many good points. And I was convinced. I said, yes. And the fact that he's a Green Arrow villain, I said, yes. Absolutely 100%, I said yes. And this figure is absolutely wonderful. I'm gushing about this figure. He's even wearing clocks on his wrist. Now, the only minus I can give it is that they didn't add the paint for the clock. I mean, they added paint, but they didn't put, like, you know, the details on his watch. So maybe he gets a 9.5. Just a smidge from getting a 10 because they didn't put... But I guess, is that really something for me to complain about? I don't know. I'm still thinking 10. I'm still thinking 10 out of 10. He has clocks all around his... It's just... I adore this. Okay, he don't have clocks on his back. Okay, 9.5. 9.5. They could have added clocks on his back. So maybe a 9.5. I don't know if that's something I could really complain about. I'm still hovering between 9.5 and a 10. That's what I'm hovering between. But anyway, we're going to go into articulation. So he can look. He barely can't look up, really. He can look down a little bit. He does have attitude, slight attitude left and to the right. His arms can go out about that much. Go full 360. Upper bicep swivel. He does have butterfly joints. He has doubly jointed elbows. He has full wrist and hinge rotation. He has an upper ball peg that can go all the way around, and it can also pivot side to side. And it can also turn around 360. Nothing in the lower waist from what I feel. Wait a minute. Oh, no. There is rotation in the lower waist. It can go all the way around 360. You can spin it. Yep. Full 360 rotation in the waist. He can split about that much. And he can kick forward about that much. He can kick back about that much. He does have a slight thigh rotation. He does have doubly jointed knees and no boot rotation, but he gets full ball peg hinge in the foot all the way around, left and right, up and down, however you want to do it. Hinges up, hinges down, ankle pivot, and the famous McFarlane toe hinge as well. I love this figure. I know I'm gushing about it like crazy, but I can't help it. I can't help it. This was a sleeper hit for me. I don't know about anybody else. Maybe other people were expecting to be blown away by this figure. I was not expecting to be blown away by this figure. This is a go. This is a major hit for me. This might be one of my favorite McFarlane figures in my collection. And that is a bold-ass statement for me to say that. But you know what? It's true. Because I adore this figure. The more and more I'm playing around with him, the more I'm looking at him, the more and more I am falling in love with this figure. And so here we have Clock King with his nemesis, Green Arrow. And that looks pretty cool. And so my final thoughts and opinion. Okay, I've come to a decision. He's going to get a 10 out of 10 because I just adore this figure. I adore it. I don't give 10 out of 10s to a lot of figures anymore. I used to do that, but I kind of cut down on doing that. But it has been a while since I have just adored a figure so much. He has the cloth cape. He has an awesome head sculpt. He comes with clock accessories. His whole outfit is made of clocks, and it looks awesome. Just I am over the moon with this figure, and I'm giving him a 10 out of 10. Yes, I could have nitpicked some things here and there, and it could have been a 9 or maybe even an 8. But I don't care about the reuse parts. I don't care about, you know, the watches that he's wearing that it doesn't have, you know, some kind of clock detail on it. I don't care. It could be a digital watch. Use your imagination. I don't care. I don't care. All I care about is that this figure is awesome and I love it. I adore it. And he gets a 10 out of 10. He is definitely... Eventually, I'm going to make a top 50 list of McFarlane figures that I have. He's definitely in it. And spoiler, he ain't going to be number 50. So, I adore this figure. It gets a 10 out of 10 for me. I love the sculpting, the paint, the accessories. I love it all. Give me more, McFarlane. Give me more figures like this. Seriously. And I will continue to break my bank if McFarlane keeps producing outstanding Dynamite figures like this. This is what I want. This is what collecting is all about. And that is my review, guys. So, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it informative. Please like the video. I really appreciate when you do that. And also, it will help other people find my channel. So, please like the video if you were so inclined. Thank you for watching. Love you guys. Really appreciate it. This has been my review of the DC Multiverse Collector's Edition Clock King. And until the next time, clock is ticking. See ya.